What's up guys, Pete with Auto Repair Tips. I got a 13 Chevrolet Silverado and the guy went somewhere and got it inspected, and like anywhere else, if you go there and you got holes in your frame from rust, they're not gonna pass it, it's gonna be rejected. This guy here only has two little holes about this big, but the kicker is it's right by the gas tank, right here and one right here. And I'll get you a closer view in a minute before I start. Yeah, and you guessed it, in this video I'm gonna be doing some rust repair. But let me tell you something. I made a few videos a couple years ago on some rust repair on some frame. We're one of the only shops around here, probably the only shop around here that does a lot of repairs on frames when they're rusted. Been doing it, I'm third generation, 87 years. I actually had a guy, he watched my video and he saw we had put some Bondo on some of the welds on one of the jobs we did. And he, oh my God, he condemned it and talked all kinds of trash. But I'm here to tell you that, well, let me back up a little bit. He said that moisture will get behind the Bondo and cause it to flake off. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you know how to do it and you do it correctly, that will never, ever, ever happen. If it happens to you, you just don't know what the hell you're doing. You can put Bondo on a frame, on the body of your panel outside here. Moisture is not gonna get through the paint, through the primer, through the Bondo to the metal and cause it to pop off. Not gonna happen. Especially when we do these frames. Sometimes I'll get one because I'll get a customer that'll say, I just want it to look flawless. It's a lot of extra welding and grinding to get one to look like that. When if you can get it 80% and skim it with some Bondo, you can take that Bondo down, put an epoxy primer on it. We use DP. Like I was saying, what we use a DP epoxy primer. You can take bare metal, you can shoot both sides of this metal on the edges, you can throw it in the river, saltwater river, it won't rust. It can sit there for 10 years, it's not gonna rust. That's the product that we use when we're doing frame work. That's the product that we use when I'm doing custom cars. We use that DP epoxy primer. Nothing will penetrate. It's like putting a coat of vinyl over something. It is just, it's awesome shit. I can't talk any better about it. It's made by PPG too. It's called DP epoxy primer. Now, 15 years ago, the formula was a little bit different and it was even better, but they only took something out. I'm not sure why they took something out of the formula, but it's still as good as it was. I think it was better back in the day, but they're saying it's still as good as it was. But anyway, that being said, let's get into the video. Let me show you these rust holes first. So if you look right here, this is the gas tank. Unfortunately, I gotta drop the gas tank because I'm not grinding and welding by a gas tank. I've done some stupid things, but I'm not that stupid. And I'm gonna have to move this arm a little bit, but there's one right here also. So in this video, there's gonna be not a lot of talking. I'll explain what I'm getting ready to do. I'll do it, then I'll show you the next step. Something like this, it's not like doing a mechanic job where you gotta explain every little detail. This bolt does that, this goes here, help you out. Like me, I'm gonna drop a gas tank. Well, you'll watch me do a little bit of that and then I'll continue on. Same thing, I'm cutting it out. You'll see me cut a little bit. You don't need to be watching me cut all of it, just a little bit of it. All right, that being said, let's get into it. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So when you drop in the tank, the actual filler nozzle, you see people doing it multiple different ways. I just prefer to take out the 3 bolts, lower it down, and then disconnect it, the hose clamp if it's possible at that time, or fish the whole thing through. But you see them done a lot of different ways, and I guess really what I'm saying is it's all in your preference. If you want to do it this way, you can do it this way. If you want to reach your hands up in there and take off the hose clamps and do it that way, you know, it's whatever works for you. It's funny though, because what works for me may not work for you. What saves me time may waste time for you. Everybody's different. Everybody's different on your preference. But that way, now this hose is loose, I can pull it down. I'll say I can pull it down. And I can just work it just like that. All right, back up with the car. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my transmission jack under here, take the straps off, and let's get this thing lowered down. But yeah, she's got some fuel in it. All right, not that it matters, these straps are held on with 15 bolts. I'm just about at the point where we're gonna phone a friend. Let me get these straps out of the way first. Two lines that come off the tank for the evap system. One is right here, one is right here. We'll go ahead and get those disconnected now. This upper hose has got like a blue tab on it. You have to squeeze it inward to the bottom and then push it straight up. It's still a little bit of a pain in the ass. There we go. We'll get a rubber plug for this before I burn down the shop. Smell, that's gasoline. Can't you smell it? Can't you smell it? I thought I had a bigger plug than this, but apparently I don't. I know I've showed you guys before, but these little spoons right here, got from Snap-on, they work really well in situations like this. They get in some easy spots. Well, not easy spots, they get in some tight spots. It looks like to me, if I can undo this one evap hose right here, I will be home free because I could lower down because there's quite a bit of wire up here to bring it down with. Oh yeah. I wish I could get you guys in here a little bit better, but. All right, here's where we are. Just be patient when you're doing these. The last thing you want to do is end up breaking clips. Then you got to replace clips. We don't want to do that. All right, so let me show you what we got. We got a rust hole here. I've got one here. This is just surface rust. There's nothing through. This is a factory hole, so we're good there. I'll clean all this up and brush some epoxy primer over it. Same thing on here. I'll get all this brushed and it'll look nice when we're done. All right, we'll get on tomorrow and start cutting some of this out and get new metal put in there. So what I like to do is get my pig hammer and I find the rust and I tap around it to see if there's any more weak spots. All right, so after checking it out, it looks like we're gonna be from right here to right about here in this corner, probably about 1 inch high. Right here in the corner, I'm gonna take it and cut the corner down just right here in the corner, and I'm gonna butt up to it and we'll do a solid weld along there. So I went ahead and taped it off so you can see what it's gonna look like when I cut it out. Again, everything beyond this point is good. We have no issues anywhere else but right along in here. So we're gonna keep it as small as we can. All right, that's what the template looks like. We'll measure the thickness of this, and then I'll show you what we're gonna put in. It's gonna be probably a little bit thicker than what came out. So before I go back with any metal, I'm gonna clean it out real good. Check how much stuff comes out. Now that I got it cleaned out, I'm gonna go ahead and grind it down a little bit. All right, after I got it all ground down, the next thing I'm gonna do is put a little OSPO on it and make sure you let that dry before you do any welding because it is very flammable. And this will help protect the metal from rusting. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna brush it just in all the rusty areas around, just to kind of help, just protect it a little bit. But again, this thing is gonna rust. It's gonna rust back again. It may not rust here, but it's gonna rust over here. It's gonna rust over here. These things here are just famous for that. There's nothing you can do about it. And I imagine if you live up north, it's like 10 times as bad. More shit up in there. gonna cut the template out now, let this dry for about an hour, and we'll come back and get it fitted and get it up in there. So let me show you the thickness of the metal that came off. Now mind you, it's gonna be a little bit thinner than normal simply because it's rusted, it's deteriorated. So this is sitting right about 0.100. And what's going in is 0.159. So this at one time was probably this thick, but being rusted and deteriorated like it is, it lost a little bit. So we're gonna be good with that metal right there. If anything, that metal's a little bit thicker. And we got lucky. I've got a piece here that is just almost, the height is almost perfect on it. I mean, seriously, I couldn't get more luckier than that. Very minimal cutting. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and get this cut out, and then I'll start fitting it and trimming it. That's actually not bad for the first fit. What I'll do is I'm gonna get a magnet, put it here, and I'll put some tacks along the bottom, and then I'll just take my grinder, and right here where it's touching a little bit, I'll open it up some. Well, that is not bad at all. Almost on the money. Let's let the chemical finish drying because it's still damp, and we'll come back in about another 30 minutes and start welding it up. So before you start welding, make sure you give yourself a good ground to work with. What I'm gonna do now is just go around the areas and get some tacks. So I need to do this about 100 more times. The only area I need to open up a little bit is gonna be right through here. But once I get some more tacks along here, I'll go ahead and get my angle grinder out and we'll slice it right along here. But we are looking good. All right, that other light behind me was just putting so much of a glare I couldn't see, but this works just fine. Oh, you're knocking shit out of the way though. All right, before I get too far ahead of myself, that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna go ahead and take a second and grind this down and take a look at it and see what we got going on. I'm gonna change up bits because that grinder for some reason is starting to lock up on me. But before I do, I'm gonna put a thicker disc on this one here, but before I do, I want to cut it right along here. All right, what I'm doing is I'm switching up my grinder, my angle grinder to a thicker disc. It's going to go a little bit faster this way. So there it is, we have the finished product. It's all ground down, welds look good, nice and flat. A little bit right here is a little funky, it's because in the frame there's an indentation, and that's about as best I could get that. But all the holes are gone. I was talking about using a DP on this. I'm not going to do that. What I'm gonna do is, about 6-7 months ago, we built a trailer. It's like a 50-foot trailer, or 40-foot trailer, whatever the heck it was that they towed things on from the shipyard. And we used a Rust-Oleum, brushable Rust-Oleum paint, and it went on great. Sat out in the weather the whole time we worked on it and never rusted. So I think I'm gonna go with that on this here, and then when I'm done, I'll probably dust it with a little bit of undercoating. All right, let me go grab some lunch, come back and finish this off. All right, here's the finished product after I went ahead and put a little bit of that Rust-Oleum on it, and we undercoated it with a light dusting on it. And that's what it looks like. We'll go ahead and get the tank back in, and this job is done. You guys don't need to see me do that. You already saw me take it out. It's just reverse procedure. All right, that is it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.